by Aldous Huxley. Dramatized by Stephen Mulrine. With Gary Cady as the Savage, Jack Claff as Mustafa Mond, the controller of Western Europe, Moya Leslie as Lenina Crown, Jonathan Tafler as Bernard Marx, and Francis de la Tour as Linda. Brave New World.
And this is the fertilizer room. Now follow me, ladies and gentlemen. I shall begin at the beginning. These are the incubators. The week's supply of ova, here, kept at blood heat. And the male gametes, here, kept at 35 degrees, note, not 37.
Full blood heat sterilizes, sir?
Correct. After fertilization, of course, the ova are returned here to the incubators, where alphas and betas will remain until definitely bottled. Gammas, deltas, and epsilons, on the other hand, are brought out again to undergo Bokanovsky's process.
Bokanovsky, sir?
Yes. Essentially, Bokanovsky's process consists of a series of arrests of development. We check the normal growth, and paradoxically, the egg responds by budding. It takes 8 minutes for the tubes to go through. That's about as much as an egg can stand of hard X-rays. A few die, of course, but most put out 4 buds. Some as many as 8. They're returned to the incubators, the buds begin to develop, and after 2 days, they're suddenly chilled. Normal growth is arrested, and the buds, in turn, produce buds. They're then removed from the incubators, dosed with alcohol, growth is again checked, buds form, bud out of bud out of bud, and the embryos are then left to develop, by which time our original egg is in a fair way to becoming anything from 8 to 96 embryos. A prodigious improvement on nature, I'm sure you'll agree.
Yes. Sir, I'm not sure I understand.
My dear boy, can't you see? Can't you see? Anyone?
Bokanovsky's process is one of the major instruments of social stability.
Precisely. Standard men and women in uniform batches. The whole of a small factory staffed with the products of a single Bokanovsky-fied egg. 96 identical twins working 96 identical machines. For the first time in history, you really know where you are. Community, identity, stability.
Community, identity, stability!
Yes! True, we can't Bokanovsky-fy indefinitely, but in exceptional cases, we can make one ovary yield us over 15,000 adult individuals. Mr. Forster.
Director.
Mr. Forster, can you tell us the record for a single ovary, please?
In this centre, sir, 16,012. That's in 189 batches of identicals. Of course, they've done much better in some of the tropical centres, but we mean to beat them if we can.
That's the spirit. Come along with us and give these students the benefit of your expert knowledge.
With pleasure, sir.
Really, Lenina? Do you mean to tell me you're still going out with Henry Forster?
But it's only about 4 months.
Lenina? Seriously, I do really think you ought to be careful. It's such horrible bad form to go on and on like this with one man. You know how strongly the director objects to anything intense or long drawn. Why, he'd be furious if he knew. Lenina? Well, there's no need to give him up. Just have somebody else from time to time, that's all. He has other girls, hasn't he?
But of course.
You see? That shows what he stands for, the strictest conventionality. And you really ought to be a little more promiscuous. One's got to make the effort. After all, everyone belongs to everyone else.
Yes, you're quite right as usual. Everyone belongs to everyone else. I'll make the effort. Oh, isn't that divine?
Oh, Rubina, yes.
I wonder if there's a vibro-massage machine free. You know, to tell you the truth, Fanny, I'm beginning to get just a tiny bit bored with nothing but Henry every day. Do you know Bernard Murdoch?
Oh, you don't mean to say...
Why not? Bernard's now for plus. Besides, he's asked me to go to one of the savage reservations with him.
But his reputation, Lenina. They say he spends most of his time by himself, alone.
Well, he won't be alone when he's with me. Anyhow, why are people so beastly to him? I think he's rather sweet.
Oh, he's so ugly.
I rather like his look.
And he's so small. They say somebody made a mistake when he was still in the bottle. Thought he was a gamma and put alcohol into his blood surrogate. That's why he's so stunted.
Oh, what nonsense.
Oh, that's cold!
And here we have social predestination. 88 cubic meters of card index brought up to date every morning.
So many individuals of such and such quality. Unforeseen wastages promptly made good.
Promptly. If you knew the amount of overtime I had to put in after the last Japanese earthquake.
Let's take the escalator. The predestinators send their figures to the fertilizers, who supply the embryos they ask for, and the bottles come here to be predestinated in detail. Give them a few figures, Mr. Forster.
Well, each of these racks, though you can't see it, is travelling at the rate of 8 meters a day. And each bottle will remain on the conveyor for 267 days.
And on the 267th morning, daylight in the decanting room. Independent existence.
Yes.
But in the interval, we've managed to do a lot to them. Oh, a very great deal.
Well, all I can say is that I'm going to accept. And I do want to see a savage reservation.
You're hopeless, Lenina. I give you up.
Do I look all right?
Perfect. Very pneumatic.
Oh, Fanny, darling, let's make peace. Look.
Oh, Lenina, what a perfectly sweet Malthusian belt.
It's real Morocco surrogate. Do you like it?
Oh,
It holds the regulation supply of contraceptives, too.
I simply must get one.
Henry Foster gave it me. I'm wearing it this evening. 2 rounds of obstacle golf before dark, then the Westminster Abbey Cabaret. It's Calvin Stone.
Oh, and it's 16 sex sophonists. Wonderful.
Yes. Then back to Henry's room, 1/2 gram of Soma, and...
Oh, Lenina, do ask Henry where he got that belt.
Of course, we don't content ourselves with merely hatching out embryos. Any cow could do that. We also predestine and condition. We decant our babies as socialized human beings, as alphas or epsilons, as future sewage workers or future directors of hatcheries.
Thank you, Mr. Forster.
As you can see, the mechanic here, a beta plus,
That's correct.
is reducing the number of revolutions per minute. The blood surrogate goes round slower, therefore passes through the lungs at longer intervals, therefore gives the embryo less oxygen. Nothing like oxygen shortage for keeping an embryo below par.
But why do you want to keep the embryo below par?
Hasn't it occurred to you that an epsilon embryo must have an epsilon environment as well as an epsilon heredity?
The lower the caste, the shorter the oxygen. The first organ to be affected is the brain, and in epsilons we just don't need human intelligence. Now over here, just past the 1100 meter mark on rack 3, we have a batch of embryonic rocket engineers. And this special mechanism keeps their containers in constant rotation to improve their sense of balance. We slacken off the circulation when they're right way up, so that they're upside down. They learn